Hey guys, thank you so much for turning the pages again and yet another Moxie magazine issue. We're excited to be here with a full interview with Julia Freeman, who was our July feature story of She's Got Moxie. So we're gonna go ahead and dive in. Hope you guys enjoy getting to know Julia. So want to start the conversation off with just a couple different questions because this is all about She's Got Moxie, right? And we're trying to kind of educate people on what Moxie means. Like Moxie is a big word. Or just small word rather, but it's got a big definition. So what is, when kind of trying to define where you fit in with the word Moxie, right? Which is kind of like fearless, determined, all these great words. What is a fear that you have not overcome yet?
A fear that I have? Well, I think we all have lots of different fears. Simple fears in life are heights. I'm afraid of heights.
Okay.
Snakes.
Okay.
Those are the little things in life, but the larger fears in life, I think, are fear of failure, never measuring up in a sense, letting others down and things like that. So, but when you've got Moxie, you persevere and you fight forward and you go through those and knock those walls down.
So you brought up two that kind of mirror themselves. So one is the fear of disappointing yourself and also the fear of letting other people down. So if you look at those two side by side, which one do you struggle the most with and why?
Well, letting others down, dealing with my job and my responsibilities in the community and things like that. With that comes a lot of weight, and just making sure that you're doing the best, not only your personal interests, but the interests of those that are around you, your family, your friends, your co-workers. That's very important, just to make sure that you're doing the right thing and pushing forward, not to let them down.
So when you were growing up as a little girl, people, always say that, you change, and of course we do. But when you were a little girl, can you look at yourself and pictures of when you were younger and recognize yourself? Or do you look at photos of yourself and say, God, that's me, but it's from another lifetime ago?
Looking back as a child and a young girl, I was fearless. We laughed. I grew up in the country, and my two older brothers were pretty much gone or working and things like that, so I was by myself a lot. And I tell everyone I was almost raised by wolves, because I ran through the forest and ran through the barn and played with our horses and our animals and things like that. So I think back then that I was much more less fearless than I am today as an adult, and of course that's what childhood brings too. Growing up snow skiing when you were literally fearless when go down the mountain at 150 miles an hour. I won't do that today.
I won't even put skis on today, so I know what you're talking about. So kind of growing up then, if you could describe your childhood as a Disney movie, what would it be?
Dora the Explorer.
Really?
Really. It was
Okay.
It was a constant adventure, everything. Very fortunate to have traveled all over the United States. Again, the horses, my family, it was always an adventure. Something was always happening, and we were into everything. Girl Scouting, took dance, took music. So it was just always something. With sports, very active in sports, volleyball, and so I was Dora the Explorer.
They're coming out with a new movie, right? So what if you can remember kind of not going fully into your adult age, but kind of your adolescent, your teenage years, will you talk to me about a time that you really kind of had to question yourself, and maybe what the direction was, or the decision that you were going to make based on a certain experience that you were having that challenged you?
Gosh, that's a difficult question to answer because nothing really comes to mind, and that's unusual. There should be some pinnacle point in my life. Life decisions when you're a teenager was what career you were going to go into, which college you would choose if you wanted to go to college and things like that. So that was probably the biggest obstacles back then.
So move past that then. When's the first time that you can kind of reflect on, that you can go back and say, I'm being really challenged right now, and I don't know what I'm gonna do, and how did you handle it?
That would be where we were going to live after college. Moving,
Okay.
where we're going to come home, do you take care of your parents, what do you do? Looking back and growing up in a small community, there's not as many opportunities here. So when you got through college, it was, do you stay, you move to a larger city, what do you do? But my roots are small town girl, and
Yeah.
it didn't take very long to get back here.
So you're born and raised here?
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, I'm a true native.
Okay.
Born in the Haywood County Hospital, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the farthest away that you have been?
As far as living or traveling?
Both.
Well, been to Ireland, probably is the farthest that I've ever been, next
Okay.
to being in Canada and Vancouver and Victoria and places like that, traveling. Love to travel. Travel
Yeah.
is my passion. But living-wise, just not very far, Knoxville, Tennessee and Greenville, South Carolina.
Okay, so you are, you,
Stayed really close.
your seeds do not spread very far.
No.
Wow. So how far back does the Freeman name go here?
Well, I'm not sure.
Well, you're not a Freeman.
Right, boy.
Sorry,
Boyd. Back into the 1800s, if not farther.
Okay.
So, yeah. And that's, we are, got a long lineage here in Haywood County.
That's just a completely different experience. I mean, you literally are brought up with people that you went to preschool with,
Yeah.
kindergarten with.
Yeah, literally.
Um,
Yeah, and with that, comes there's wonderful things that come with that.
Sure.
Being known locally and the name being, a local name and things, and then there's a lot of baggage too that comes with that. When you look back, at decisions that other family members have made and things.
and how that is a kind of a direct effect on
And it
you.
can affect, the perception or how people feel about the family and the family name.
So, okay, so kind of talking about that, so that requires a lot of kind of like perseverance, especially for you being not just as an alderman, because before that, you've been the director of REACH for how long now?
Going on 23 years.
Okay, and you've been an alderman for how many terms?
2 terms.
2 terms.
Yeah, in my 8th year.
And you're running again?
Yes.
Congratulations, you got my vote.
Thank you.
So, I mean, what kind of got you involved in that? And I mean, you're in a very small bubble too. You're in something that people don't talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to talk about domestic violence, right? Especially man on woman,
Yeah.
or even vice versa.
Yeah.
It's a very, very hush-hush. So what was it about that drove you into that direction?
Well, I think we were raised, my 2 brothers and I were raised in a family that gave back to the community, and we're always involved. My mother answered phone calls, called the elderly to check in on them on a daily basis.
Wow.
My mother was instrumental in helping the open door get
started?
Yeah, get started, and so when I go back to looking back on what led me to work with domestic violence and sexual assault victims, and the 2 things that are drilled into my brain is, in high school I had a girlfriend who was dating a very abusive man, or a young man at that point, and my friends and I helped her get away from that situation. I moved into college. My roommate in college was dating a very abusive guy.
Wow.
And when we were literally living together, we're roommates, and so watching that happen and unfold and trying to get her the resources that she needed, that never left my brain. And then I also had a sorority sister who was raped in college. And so when the opportunity came, moved back to Waynesville here, was asked to be on the REACH Board of Directors. And so I did that for several years, and through that process we went through 4 directors in a couple of years. And so I said, I'll go in and get everything straightened out and we'll hire somebody. But when I got in there, it just, my heart lifted and lit up, and I was like, this is where I need to be. This is what I want to do. I want to help people, and I want to help women especially get out of these situations and get the resources that they need to move on. And so then that kind of just literally rolled over and folded into being in public service. I love this community. I was raised here, as we said. I love the people. I love the town of Waynesville. It's just one of the most incredible places in the world to live. And so I thought, how can I give back to the town that's been so good to me and my family? And I said, I'm going to run for public office. here we are.
And how old were you when you made that decision?
Oh, I was 40, early 40s.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what were you doing prior to that?
Well, I've been with Reach for 23 years, and so I really, that's been
So that was-
focus. Yeah. Well, architecture and design before that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you weren't the director and doing what you're doing,
If I had my original career path, I would be still in architecture and design.
really?
Yeah, with a degree in design, interior design, and a minor in architectural history.
And that's what you went to college for?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Big change.
Well, you're kind of designing architecturally people's lives,
Yeah.
not so much in like a, hands-on your, building material,
Yeah.
but in a different way,
Yeah.
I guess you can look at it like that.
Yeah.
So what is one of the biggest, I guess, situations that, talking specifically about your position within the community and being that public profile, what's one of the, biggest, I guess, kind of obstacles that you've had to overcome, whether it was, like you said, having a name that, goes back to the 1800s and having to overcome, like what has been, I know that there's got to be many.
Yeah, there's
But you have to come over, so you have to meet struggle almost every day.
Yeah, yeah. Well, with the town of Waynesville being an alderman, we make difficult decisions that the public sometimes are not
Doesn't
happy
even know
with,
about.
and they're not happy with at all. And there's no good outcome. I mean, we want a great outcome, but we can't make everybody happy. And we make those decisions based on what we think is in the best interest of the people that we are serving. And so that's the greatest challenge, and that falls back into letting people down. Sometimes you make a difficult decision that 10, 20 years from now is the right decision for this community. And you see that where it's going to go, but in the immediate, it's difficult to tell people, that these properties have been rezoned, decisions that we've made within, budgetary items and things like that are very
Right.
difficult. That we can't do everything.
We can't
So
please
we have to-
everyone.
Yeah.
So what about on a personal level?
On personal level, on disappointments or what?
On struggle?
On struggle.
Yeah, like not so much inside of, your workspace
Yeah.
and what that requires.
Yeah. Personally struggling, you struggle every day. You doubt yourself. I'm not the greatest health nut on the face of the earth, so I struggle with health issues. I'd rather, binge watch Stranger Things than go to the gym and work out.
Yeah, right.
There's lots of struggles personally, but you get up every day and hit the ground running and you hope for the best. I am an eternal optimist. I can get down and get woe is me sometimes, but it doesn't take long to say, you get up, girl, we gotta go.
And that's kind of what I was looking for.
We gotta get going.
Yeah. So I think, people can have like this portrayal of somebody, that's kind of always in the light, and you are sitting on a panel. Some people, they just have this kind of idea, just because you have a title or a nameplate in front of you that you fit in this bracket. So I kind of wanted to personalize you away from that.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm the same as everybody else. I don't want to get out of bed. I want to binge watch and, eat sugar foods and, watch Housewives and, I have the same struggles that everybody else has.
Absolutely, yeah.
And that's kind of the gravity of what I was wanting to get from you.
Yeah. Well, people think that I can be real serious, but I'm the biggest cut up on the face of the earth.
I can feel
I
that.
love practical jokes, and I love, it's just laughing and having a good time. And laughter can cure almost anything.
Agreed. I just read recently, like 2 minutes of laughter works your body as much as like 20 minutes of hard cardio.
Hey, then I'm in perfect physical condition.
So when you're not working, what do you enjoy doing? Where do you find yourself? What are some of your hobbies?
What are my hobbies? Well,
I know you like to socialize.
yeah, big social. I love to socialize. Hanging by the pool in the summer months. Absolutely adore it. Goof around a little bit with golf. Not as much. I used to play golf multiple days a week, but still enjoy golf. Travel is my thing. I love traveling. Love experiencing new places, people, cultures and things like that. That's what really turns me on. I'm like, let's go. Somebody says we're going to Miami, I'm in. We're going on a cruise, I'm in. We're going to Europe, I'm in.
Yeah.
I love traveling.
So
it's that getaway, and I think it's the escape of the reality that you live and work every day, and so you can travel and be anybody you want to.
So what's like the destination? Like my bucket list is to see
Italy is number one, because
Okay.
I'm a foodie, I'm a whiny, I love it.
Just go hand in hand?
Yeah.
So kind of like, getting back to a little bit more of, the whole Moxie side of things, when, we're really hoping that, where this publication is going and the response that we're already receiving from it, that we are able to get some of the younger generation to start being influenced and reading and staying engaged. And that's one of the reasons why we're focusing on people. So, for kind of the young kids that are out there, the college graduates, being born and raised here, what do you say to them?
Give your hometown the benefit of the doubt. There is opportunity here, and we're seeing that growth, and industries coming in and things like that. Come back and open your own business. Take a leap of faith and just do it. There's a tremendous amount of opportunity here. You just have to know where to look for it.
Right.
And the support will come. We've got some great business organizations, chambers of commerce, both in Haywood and in Maggie Valley. There's a lot of upstarts. You're bringing a lot to the community with Moxie marketing. That's something new and exciting for this community. And that breeds a sense that there's a lot that can be done.
Is that one of the biggest arguments that you guys get, is like there's nothing here, you have to leave?
It's low paying, yes. I think that the argument is that the jobs are low paying in this community, and they're service industry jobs, which there's no community in the country and the world that can't work without service industry jobs.
Agreed.
We all go out and eat and enjoy ourselves and stuff, and so we need those jobs. But then on top, above that, there's a lot of opportunity. And I'm an advocate for raising the minimum wage to make a livable wage for these people in the community, and with that, we'll bring people back. And I don't have children. I have fabulous little fur babies, but it's a fabulous place to raise your children, and I'm an example of that. I grew up, it's a lot to be said about growing up in a small town.
I totally agree with you. I mean, I wasn't, but one of the reasons why I came here was to raise my daughter.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it in a big, city of Jacksonville, Florida, and coming here, and she hates it. She's like, I can't wait to get out of here. And I'm like, baby girl, I can't wait for you to get out of here.
Yeah.
But you are going to take so much value with you.
And then she'll be back.
And then she will be back. Yes, she will be back as much as she says she won't. What's next?
What's next?
What's next?
The sky's the limit. Nikki.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who knows?
Well, I know, you've got your job and you're running for re-election.
Yes.
So, hopefully there's some travel coming up in your future.
Yeah, and my dream, I'd love to be the first female mayor of the town of Waynesville.
Okay.
It's not going to happen. I'm not going to be running this time, but 4 years from now, who knows? So that's definitely an aspiration of mine.
All right, so you're staying in the line of politics.
Yeah, I think, I've got that. That's another hook.
Yeah.
Just like working with domestic violence victims and sexual assault victims, that's a passion of mine, and working with the community and serving the community. It's not an easy job. I don't know which one's more difficult. Right. To be the director of a crisis agency or to be a person in public service, but I love both of them. And,
you definitely can't wear your emotions on your sleeve in either one of those situations. I mean, you really have to be stonewalled.
Well, you've got to.
Or you have to stonewall yourself.
And you've got to learn how to not internalize things. And I've seen a lot of social workers come work for me over the years, and it takes a while for them to not internalize, because we see some pretty horrific things on a daily basis, and not to be able, you just can't take it home with you, and it's hard to separate.
Oh my God.
Personal and private life, and being in politics, the same thing. Yeah, we make a difficult decision, and there's people out there who are extremely upset with it. and we can't take that personally. And it's personal to them, and we respect that. Well, I understand when we've rezoned a piece of property, and it's been in your family for generations and things like that. But it's personal to them, but we can't take it personal because the decision that we made is for the best interest of everyone in the community.
And the future of it.
Exactly.
So how long did it take you to get that mentality? I mean, you didn't just walk in as director and walk in as alderman and be like,
I know. I remember.
What was that?
20-some years ago, I wanted to take every kid, save every child that came through our shelter program and take them and just get them out of the situation, And it took years. It takes a long time to do that. And I still want to save the kids, but I don't go home and I can't, their worry and their crisis can't be my crisis and my worry. And so you just, through time and therapy and some other things, you learn to separate it. So
that's got to be a daily reminder of yourself or to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't get attached to this.
And doing, self-help classes and things like that. We try to do that with not only ourselves but our staff. Do things, find joy in places or find some sort of relief and a break from the situation. When I mentioned I love hanging out at the pool, I just literally had my entire staff at the pool last Friday just to get them away from the daily grind and what they deal with on a daily basis.
So, which is fantastic. I mean, that's fantastic that you socialize like that with your team. Just bonds you even closer. Do you ever feel that because you have to be like this person at work on both aspects that does it ever kind of bleed into your personal life?
Yeah, sometimes I just want to run and hide.
Okay.
Literally. Put your head on the pillow and say, I can't do it today. And there are days that you call in and I say, I'm taking a personal day. I just can't, today's about me. It can't be about anybody else. It just can't go on. I just can't do it. And that's hard to admit sometimes, but man, you can't be everything all the time.
Right.
You got to take care of yourself first and foremost before you can take care of others.
Anybody else. I totally agree with you on that. Do you ever feel like because you kind of have to hold yourself back and you had to learn to not internalize, and so that there's kind of like this shut-off valve that you have control over in your work life? Do you feel like that bleeds into your personal life? Like, do you feel ever that you don't remain fully open or you're not fully open in your personal life? Because that's my question. And that's coming from like a personal question, because I used to be a guardian ad litem when I was younger.
Yeah.
And I was just like you, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna save the world. And what I learned about myself was I started to hate people in general. I just started hating everybody.
Well, that's an excellent question. What I see myself is that I don't let very many people in.
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah, I don't. There's just, you have a tight inner circle and you keep it tight. And those are your support people, the people you rely on, every single day. And when it hits the fan, that's who you call.
Yeah.
You call those people. But then, there's a wall up at all times.
Okay.
Yeah. And you probably picked up on that.
This is a great time to kind of creep in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I just didn't know if you were aware of it or not.
Yeah.
Because
yes.
Okay.
But
All right,
there's
cool.
always that. Yeah.
There's a boundary, there's a line, and hey, I don't blame you, girl. I'm with you the whole way.
And when you break through that, I'm the greatest, funniest person ever.
I think you're the greatest person, and I'm outside the walls, so it's all good. It's all good, man. It's all good. So, just kind of, wanting to wrap up with everything, I just kind of want you to just share, kind of like a life motto that you live on. Like, I have my scripture on my arm, and I think, being able to find something, whether it's expression or whatever it is, whether it's, been said by somebody else or it's your own internal voice, I think it's important for local people and people in general to find something that they identify with, and if they can read this or watch this and identify with you, then whatever your strength is, whatever your lyric is, could be something that they're missing. So what is that?
Treat people like you want to be treated. Tim McGraw's got a song, Live Like You Were Dying and stuff. I love that song because it's the truth. Go fishing, go skydiving,
Yeah.
go ride a bull, whatever. Just live each day like it's your last day. And if you treat people with respect, they're going to treat you with respect.
And you have found that by you implementing that in your life, you've been able to receive back.
Absolutely. And it's, being Southern is there's a little niche there of being Southern. And one of my favorite things is that, we can be overly nice and cordial. I love it when people go home at night after we've talked and had a conversation or a confrontation or whatever, and they go home and they realize, well, that Southern girl just kicked me, and I didn't even realize. She was being so nice, I didn't even realize what she said.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart.
Bless your heart. I would love to witness that. So
I've had people the next day say, oh, I got what you said now.
I saw what you were laying down.
See, when I got home last night, I saw.
But never in the moment.
Yeah, exactly, because, when you got a smile on your face, you can say a lot of things.
Okay, so last question. What's your superpower?
What's my superpower? Oh my gosh, what is superpower? I don't know. I don't look at myself.
I mean, you could very well, that could very well be it, just smiling while I'm chopping you down.
Yeah, I don't know what my superpower is. I don't,
You haven't thought about
I
it?
haven't. I've never thought about that. So.
Well, I'm going to make that your superpower
Okay,
right now.
I'll take it.
Because I don't know many people that can actually do that.
Yeah, okay. I like it.
So I'm going to give you that superpower, but I want you to think about your own superpower. So the next time I see you, I'm going to ask you.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah? Awesome. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed this awesome conversation with Julia. You guys make sure that you tune in, check us out, and make sure that you stay tuned for the August edition. Awesome. Take care, much love. Bye.
See ya.